All right. Well, before we can get that second season started, we got to finish these up really quickly. So apologies. Gradine, Matvey Gradine. Can't talk to you. You're in junior. Dylan, listed as a sniper. Sure, whatever. Just try to get better. You're trash. Connor Zary. Connor Zary, listed as a playmaker. Again, there's an opt-out for him as a two-way. But with he and Coronado, we are going to try like hell to get them to actually develop into those top-notch player types. So your goal is 40 assists to develop third eye. That is your goal. Ryan Lomberg. I can tell you to block shots, but you're not going to be able to. Stromgren. We need you to switch to a grinder. There is just no way you're going to be a top-notch power forward. No shot. You need to be a grinder. Please be willing to be a grinder. Not bad. Okay. Well, there we go. 2 power forwards willing to try out being grinders, which will help them a lot. In the system, Peltier, I mean, you as a two-way is fine. No other notes, really. As Pospisil just scored for Calgary, so there you go. Corbin Appleby, power forward? He's got decent face-offs as well. Let's try changing you to a two-way. And hopefully you're willing to play center as well. Are you willing to be a two-way? No. Are you willing to try and develop center as a position? No. Okay, well, that's just wonderful. Thanks for being helpful. Adar Suniev, listed as a two-way. Fair. Yeah, especially because that shot's terrible. Keona Siona, power forward, no shot. Well, he does have some shot power. But his puck skills, he's 22 as well. Like, buddy, if you're not going to be a grinder, you're never going to make it. You're never going to make it. You got to be willing to just get out here and hit people. All right, that is another power forward who's willing to try and become a grinder, thankfully. Andrew Basha, his first year in the AHL. Playmaker. Honestly, if he's willing to try to be a sniper, he's got the shot power. Let's see if he's willing to try to be a sniper. What do you think, Andrew? Let me hit the wrong button immediately. There needs to be an opt-out. There needs to be an opt-out, I swear. I shouldn't have to go through the rest of the menus just to do something different because I hit one wrong button. And he is not willing to try and be a sniper right now. Battaglia, you're back in junior. Parker Bell is already a grinder. Perfect. And then for the centers, Nazem Kadri. Your goal for the season. Could be award-based or it could be X-Factor-based. I mean, you got to figure, he's playing next to Mitch Marner and Brock Besser. He should be able to put up points this year, but what X-Factors are available? 1,000 face-off wins for gold quick draw. Let's try it. Let's try it, Nifty. Let's try. Backlund. Good old Michael Bob Backlund. What the hell can we do for you? Might be his last season here, too. We're not in the playoff picture come trade deadline time. He's probably on the outs. 750 face-off wins. I mean, you're a third-line center. It's probably not going to happen, but we'll still give it a try. And then James Hagens, the goal is simple, my friend. Win the Calder. That is your goal. First overall pick. I want to see you win the Calder. It's got to be done. We're putting you in a position to succeed. You just got to get it done. Let's see. Rory Cairns listed as a playmaker. Totally fine. Honzik as a power forward. Fine for now. Hoskin as a playmaker. Let's hope he's willing to be a two-way. What do you got for us, Bob Hoskins? Are you willing to be a two-way? He's willing to try. There we go. We needed that. Thank you, Trevor. We have Lucas Pedersen. who is currently a two-way, which is fair. Ukmiso we can't talk to yet. Gustav Sagriva. We had to try to change one of you to a sniper and one of you to a playmaker. So let's see if old Gustav Sagriva is willing to become the sniper of the two. Are you willing? Nope. Okay. Rehards, are you willing to become a playmaker? Let's try. Very risky, very risky. Well, it's unlikely, but let's try. Yeah. All right, well. They might not be full-on Sedin twin clones, unfortunately, but we'll give it a shot. Last thing I wanted to do, actually, was double-check. Are there any free agents left? Again, not named Evan Bouchard, because I'm not willing to give up the draft picks to get him. Even the whole, hey, one-year deal thing, he's not willing to take it. Yeah, it doesn't quite work as well as it used to. It does drop it down to $8 million, but it doesn't mean he's overly interested. So... are there any dudes left with significant value potential-wise? There is this high elite and good old Will Cranley. I can only imagine Will Cranley being talked to by his grandmother, and it's just or if it's like an aunt, and it's just, my nephew, Will Cranley. He's got the perfect name for it. The perfect name. But we're going to bring ourselves in another goaltender here. We learned our lesson with Bouchard. Yeah. Let's see. Any good defensemen left over? Nope. And then what about forwards? Also no. At least in terms of high potentials. That's what we were caring about right now. So we should be good. Season 2 in Calgary. The team has changed a decent amount. Does 85%... It does, but the circumstances need to be right. It's not as much of a guarantee as it used to be. Not as much of a guarantee as it used to be. Pajot did not want to sign as a goalie coach. Jackson Devon did, so whatever. Whatever. And we start off our season against Chicago. We do need to double check power play lines. So honestly, I don't think the preseason thing went through until just now because Hagens is up to an 81. So that's tough then. I did think that set in when the waiver thing came up, but apparently not. So that's worth noting. It can still technically work if you call up people that either go back to junior or aren't going to be affected by waivers. So at least we know that for the future. But looking at the lines here, again, Marner, Kadri, and Besser, Zary, Hagens, and Coronado. And then Huberdeau, Backlund, and Sharon Govich. We'll see if we can get the wingers on that third line a bit more time. And then power play options. Hunter needs that time. Probably Hunter and Uyghur. Probably. So let's see. Top power play is Kadri, Marner, Besser. Let's go Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weekend. Let's go Brustowitz, man. We got to develop this kid. We got to develop this guy. Besser, Marner are both right-handed shots. We want Besser in that better spot. That works. Actually, if we were to get Besser, probably be better set up if we did it this way. That works, because Besser's got Big Tipper. So the distributor is Mitch Marner. The finisher is Besser. The carrier is Marner. Face-offs, we, of course, want Nazem on the draws. The second power play is Hagens, Zary. We want Coronado here instead of Blake Coleman. And then Sharon Govich with Mackenzie Weegar. That is looking pretty good. Who's the righty? Coronado. Honestly, that second power play unit's looking pretty good. We're going to park Zary in front. That way James Hagens can be a little bit more involved in the play. He is going to be the distributor. Coronado is going to be the finisher. Aggressive face-off, and we'll get Hagens back on Drowse. I really do like the way that the power play is looking. What's our PK look like? Kadri, Backlund, Weegar. I mean, that's a really strong top option there. Okay. Well, somehow this team will be worse than last year. That is my prediction. That is my prediction. But let's see what happens. Season 2 in Calgary. Trying to stop this team from being basement dwellers for years. We got our number 1 center in James Hagens. We still have an extra first-round pick this year. We bring in Besser. We bring in Marner. At least we'll be able to get rid of Besser if we have to. Mitch is going to be here for quite a while. And Nikita Hotyuk gets hurt immediately. Pumped to battle for another 8 seed. Well, we are 1-4-0 to start the season, so 8 seed might be optimistic. It might be. You never know. All right. God, seeing Marner and Besser on this team is hilarious, but damn it, we splashed the cash for it. It was fair game. No prediction for us. Hell no. What do you want? Free channel points for a prediction? Get out of here. That's saved for the playoffs. How dare you? Adam Kleber gets hurt down in the AHL. Hovering back around 500. Slow start in Calgary, but we're looking okay. Ryan Shea is on waivers. He's fine, but we have plenty of players like that already. Etienne Morin gets hurt down with the Wranglers. As Hayden Fleury is on. Hayden Fleury is always on waivers. Oh, thank you, Hayden. We'll go best lines down with the Wranglers. That's fine. Weaker draft class than normal, eh? Ben Hutton, also on waivers. I can't imagine I'd need him. Yeah, he would just kind of complicate the talent pool that we already have. We've been very, very good since this month has started. Very, very good. And now Mackenzie Weegar gets hurt. Shit. As Calgary ties it against Vancouver. Fucking hilarious. We just lost 9-7 to Carolina. My God. Dennis Cholowski, we're not going to need you. We're not going to need you. We're doing decently here, though. Mark Friedman, we're not going to need you. Dude, it is just defensemen on the waiver wire. Left and right. Back spasms for James Hagens. That's an unfortunate injury. That could very much affect his run for winning the Calder. Looking here so far, we are currently second in the Pacific. 14th in goals, 16th in goals against. So, I mean, we are... Oh, my God, our power play is at 10%. Okay. We're pretty mid. We are pretty mid. Mitch Marner is a point per game with 20 assists. He's doing his job. Kadri, 7-20. Besser has just 11 goals. Brock, you got to score more than that, buddy. You got to score more than that. Connor Zary, 13 points. Lomberg's been in for a game. He had 2 points. Coronado, okay, Coronado, I am very worried about him not being able to be that top-notch sniper. Huberdeau, 12 goals, 5 assists as a playmaker. Hilarious. Backlund, 2 goals, 9 assists. Sharon Govich has 7 points. Jesus Christ. Stromgren, 5 goals, -4. Popsicle, 2 and a -4, and then 5 and a -4 for Coleman. Coleman's got to be pissed about his circumstances, right? And neutral morale. Okay, well, we definitely have We definitely have some players that are disappointing here. In terms of the injured James Higgins, 13 points in 23 games. Not bad for the 19-year-old who is currently hurt. Defensively, Akatyuk 3 points and a +3. Mermanov 5 points and a +1 in 11 games. He's been really good. Jake Bean 4 points and a +5. Not bad. Anderson 12 and a +4. 5 and a -2 for Ball. 9 and a -2 for Bruce. Okay. Okay. Goalie wise, Cooley with an 864. 916 for Dustin Wolf. Yikes. Yikes. Devin Cooley has not been up to snuff here. The problem is, who else do we turn to? Ruslan Kaziev, I guess? Put Cooley through waivers. Call up a random AHLer here to try and be a backup because, my God, there's only one man for the job. I wish we had Jonas Johansson. Buffalo wasn't fucking stupid. We might have a backup goalie that can get the job done. Let's see. We get Kirill Zarubin in there. And then Mackenzie Weegar. 7 points and a +6. Okay. I'm a little bit worried about how the team's looking right now, but we are still winning. So we won't make drastic changes yet, but we clearly have faults, to put it nicely. We clearly have some issues with this team. That said, we're good enough to beat Edmonton by a significant amount, so we got that going for us. Mr. Popsicle, what's up, buddy? Not willing to become a grinder. God damn it. That's unfortunate, Martin. Martin Popsicle. Lucas Kiona. The Siona Kiona is willing to become a grinder. Okay. Batting 50% here. Tiebreaker, what's going on? What's up? William Stromgren. Also willing to become a grinder. Well done, William. That'll only help you keep a spot here. Better call your realtor then. Yeah, currently suffering as a Canucks fan. Well, hey, you made that choice. Trevor Hoskin, not willing to become a two-way. You chose the Canucks fandom. Now you sit in your mess and think about your decisions. Think about it. James Higgins, I made that choice at the age of 9. Yeah, and you should be cursing out your 9-year-old self because you were stupid. It was based off of a Wii game. Oh, shit, you really were stupid. Kidding, of course. What about a Wii game made you be like, ah, yes, the Canucks? What was it, frickin' 2K11? It was 2K11 with Kessler on the cover. Fair. In fairness, tremendous game. Tremendous game. Good old Ryan Kessler. Gotta love it. 2K11 best game. Goodness. What could have been? What could have been with 2K hockey? What could have been? Now we'll never know. Manoff gets hurt, which is fine. I'm sure Weegar replaced him. It's the first game I started rostering on. Jesus. Honestly, like, I can remember making changes, like, actively, like, inputting, like, the Joe Thornton trade into my NHL game. Is probably my earliest memory of roster editing, and what a tragedy that was. What a tragedy that was. We are in first place in our division right now at 23-12-3. Let's go. Mitch Marner isn't even leading the team in scoring. Dude, we're now 5th in goals for per game. 8th in goals against. Our power play is dead last. How? At least we're winning, though. Shout out to the Vancouver Canucks for being terrible. Let's see. Mitch, nearly an assist per game for Mitch Marner. He's crushing it. Kadri, 14 and 29. He's been great. Besser, 17. Not bad, not amazing. Zari's looking good. Hagen's looking pretty strong here. Honestly, like, we're doing well in terms of scoring. I just don't understand why our power play is so bad. Aside from Brock Besser not scoring. Aside from Brock Besser not scoring. What if we set up Huberdeau down low instead, though, and try to get Brock some 1-Ts? Let's hope. And power play 2, sorry, Coronado Hagens. I mean, I get why that combination might be struggling, but I'm not changing anything about the second power play unit. All right, well, let's take a look around the league here then, because things are going well for us in Calgary. Top of the Pacific Division. 4th best team in the league right now in terms of total points. Points percentage has us actually in 7th. That's not too bad, though. That's not too bad. So again, Kadri, Marner, Besser doing very, very well. Kadri's still probably shooting the puck more than I'd care to see him shoot it. Like, he has taken almost as many shots as Brock Besser. I didn't think Kadri's shot pass would be that high. But, okay. Fairness, Marner's shooting a lot of the puck, too. If we look around the league, midway point of the season, point leader is McDavid with 65 and 37 games. Hyman and Draisaitl, the Oilers' top line. You got Pasta up there, Bedard, J-Rob. Top goal scorer right now with 32 and 37 is Pasta. Bedard up there. Robertson, McDavid, and Matthews on 25. Michkov's up there with 19. Top defensive scoring, Dougie Hamilton, Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes. Luke Hughes is up there too. Boy, maybe it's a good thing New Jersey didn't trade him in Season 1. Goalie is the winningest, Igor in Columbus. Allmark, Wolf, Montembeau, the only 4 over 20 wins right now. Shutout leader with 5 is Vasi. Your save percentage king right now is Tristan Jarry to 930. Allmark's up there. Levi. Goalies are doing pretty well right now. Mobsky, what's up, man? Rookie scoring. Hagens has some ground to make up. He's in the conversation. But Hagens has some ground to make up. And yes, Allmark did stay in Ottawa. We would have seen him on the free agent list last year. All right, that's a tough rookie class for Hagens to be competing with. Very tough, but so far we've been good. So far. All right, let's sim another month here. See if the Flames can keep it up. Wonder who the Leafs replace Marner with. I can take a look at their lines in a minute. Maybe move Zari down for Huberdeau. I'm trying to prioritize his development, though. Marner out with a sore shoulder. Shit. That's not ideal. Yanni Yermo gets hurt. Down with the Wranglers. Huberdeau does still have power play time, though. So, I mean, he's getting some play time in there. Hope top line left wing Ryan Lomberg did well for us. Get Mitch back in there. I mean, Zari is technically a third liner, but I'm just trying like hell to brute force that development between he and Coronado. Hagens is up to an 84, though. That's not bad. Maybe we do move up Hubie. Huberdeau, Hagens, Coronado. Zari Backlund. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, maybe you're right, Bagel. Maybe you're right. Dude, Jake Bean's improved a ton this season. He's now a legitimate top 4 defenseman. He is on an expiring contract. Anderson's on an expiring contract, too. So that'll be the question, right? Because as it stands, what's up, Mitch? You're going to be mad about You are playing on the first line as promised. They need to fix this glitch. Promises are just not worth it. Because of that reason. I promise you're playing on the top line as well. Yep, you're fine. I'm just going to pretend those texts were from Paul Marner. And it all makes sense. It all makes sense. But yeah, the big question is, like, at the deadline, even if we're still in a good spot, should we trade some of the guys that are on one-year deals? And the answer might be yes. It might be yes, to think just beyond this season. Like, I don't know if I want to keep Rasmus Anderson around. Like, how expensive is he going to be? Mackenzie Weegar's hurt again. Only out for a couple of days. And look at that, already healthy. Already healthy. Get a goaltender. Dude, we got Dustin Wolf. We're fine. I actually haven't even checked to see how the new backup's been doing. I have faith. Random Russian goaltender. I have faith. Let me get Weegar in there. There we go. We are nearly to February. The best month. Jeremy Poirier gets hurt, but the Wranglers, we are in second. 4 points back of the Oilers, who have a game at hand. 17th in goals for, 12th in goals against, 31st in power play percentage. It's gotten a little bit better. We're still on a playoff pace, though. That's the good news. We are still on a playoff pace here. Mitch. Falling behind that assist per game pace. He's got over a point per game. Actually, he is a point per game right now. Because math is difficult. So not bad, Mitch. Kadri, 19 goals, 40 assists. He's been great. Besser, 22 and 30. I mean, point per game. I'd like more than 22 goals, but point per game. Huberdeau, 34 and 52. Not bad. Hagens, 9 and 13. 11 and 11 for Coronado. Oh, Maddie, I'm so disappointed. Connor Zari's done pretty well. Backlund, again, like Backlund, do we keep him around or do we trade him at the deadline? Sharon Govich has had a miserable season. He's got 1 year left before that 10-team no trade kicks in. And then William Stromgren, 8 goals and an assist. Our fourth line's been getting roughed up, but it's a fourth line. So, Blake Coleman's had a really bad year. He's got a year left after this. Defensively, Akatyuk has actually done really well. Really well. Kenzie Weegar is not. Like, from a point production standpoint, he's been pretty bad. Sharon Govich it's a morale thing with Sharon Govich. Yeah. Yeah, neutral morale, trending towards bottom half. He's not too happy right now with this placement. Oops. Which is understandable. He has power play time, but it doesn't mean he's going to stay happy. Jake Bean significantly improved over what he was doing last year. Rasmus Anderson's actually been pretty damn good this year. Don't know if it's going to be enough to keep him, though. Kevin Ball, 9 points and a -2. Hunter, 5 and 8, -2. And in goal, Dustin Wolf, been very solid. Ruslan as the backup's been okay, at least compared to what Cooley was doing. I don't know. We might have to drop Coronado down. It might piss him off, but we need to double check certain expiring contracts here. Swing goal, Dustin Wolf as an RFA. He's not going to be able to go anywhere. He is going to be looking to get paid, though, and that is kind of scary. That's kind of scary. Defensively, Anderson. Wants $8 million a year. $8 million a year for a 30 or so point defenseman in game. Real life, he's hit 50. That's a decent chunk of change right there. Jake Bean wants $4 million a year to be a second pair defenseman. Kevin Ball's deal will be up. Popsicle is going to be an RFA. Lomberg's probably going to go. Backlund wants 2.3. That's not too bad. Have him as a veteran third line center. I still have some time to sim before we get to the deadline. But there's some big moves on the horizon, at least for the current incarnation of this team. Especially with some of the younger players that we have struggling so far. Not ideal. 2.3 if you 6 on the third line. Solid, yeah. We keep losing games here, too. To be honest, I mean, if we keep losing games, the decision to move on from certain players becomes that much easier. And then we've scored 14 goals over the last 2 games. Go figure. Go figure. Yep, we've done okay. Sharon Govich is healthy. We'll get Lomberg out of the lineup. Hagen's up to an 85 already. Dude, Hagen's might jump to first line center by the end of the season. He might not win the Calder, but that overall keeps going up. He's already a legitimate second liner. He's got 30 points in 53 games. He is very much pushing for the Calder. What the hell are we going to do with the deadline? We're now down to a wild card spot. And make that third in the Pacific behind Edmonton and San Jose as of March 1st. Right. What are we going to do? 9th in goals for, 14th in goals against. Power play is up to 12th in the league. So the changes that we made were huge. Let's see. One more look at how the boys are doing. Mitch Marner. 13 goals, 49 assists, a plus 18, over a point per game. Won't quite hit 70 assists like he did last year, but, I mean, given that he doesn't have an Austin Matthews alongside him, that is actually pretty damn good. Nazem Kadri has been awesome. I mean, he's on pace for the best season of his career. Well, he's a little bit behind the pace of what he did in his final year in Colorado. I forgot how good that season was. But Naz is looking pretty damn good. Besser, only on 24 goals. Only on 24 goals. I feel like Kadri's kind of eating into his goal scoring total. Huberdeau, 17 and 26 isn't too bad, given he played on the third line for a decent amount of time this year. He's having a much better season than he had last year, when he was in the top 6 all year. Hagen's on 33 points. He's been awesome. Sharon Govich has been doing a bit better now. He's been back on the second line. Zary, 33 points. Not bad. Backlund on 28. Coronado on 28. Stromgren hasn't scored since we last looked. Blake Coleman's had a real rough year. Kotyuk's done well. Uyghur's putting up a few more points here and there. 30 points for Rasmus Anderson. He's the big one to make a decision about. Goalies Dustin Wolf on the 9-13. Ruslan, same stat line, I'm pretty sure. Right. In the system, these guys are still depth defensemen. It's not currently going to show Parekh. Yeah, Canucks tied it. Other forward. We got so many second liners now. Pelletier's still a depth. Appleby's up to depth, which is pretty good. And centers, yeah, no crazy improvement there. Actually, the Grivas Both up to 73. Let's go. They've had a huge season so far. Let's fucking go. The German Sedins. All right. Well, now is the time. If we're going to offer any contract extensions, now's the time to do it. Cooley's going to go. Wolf will obviously deal with him later. Anderson's the big one. Jake Bean is another big decision to make. Anderson now looking for a 4th year at $8 million. Sedins. 5th year drops it. 3rd year drops it. He really wants 4 years. A no movement clause bumps it up a decent amount. If we, because we want to avoid promises here. How much of an impact does that no movement clause make? A decent amount. The no trade helps a little bit. No movement doesn't do really much of anything. Modified isn't helping. So the no movement clause would certainly help be able to drive the price down a little bit. Not by much, but we kind of have to nickel and dime now. 7.5 for 4 years with that no movement clause. Technically could defer it to opt out after a year. That's not bad. Is he worth it? Is he worth it? He probably is, man. I mean, he's on 30 points this year, right? He's on 30 points on the dot with 20 games to go. Very solid defensively. Hits a lot, blocks a fair amount. Giveaway takeaway ratio isn't awful. But we take 7. That's a tough call. And there's a chance he'd take that with a bar and a half to go. No movement gets it up to just 1 bar to go. 7x4, no movement. Let's go for it. Jake Bean. 14 points. There is a chance if we were to play him on a higher, either on a higher pairing or on the power play, that he'd be able to contribute a little bit more. I'm not willing to pay a guy $4 million a season that is only putting up that many points. So we're either going to hold on to Jake Bean as a self-rental or I'm going to move him at the deadline. But yeah, I can't imagine keeping Jake Bean. Was looking for more than twice his current salary on an extension. And isn't really willing to judge, or isn't willing to budge too much on the years that he's asking for. I mean, like 3x3 would be decent. But yeah, his interest drops real quick. The no movement clause gets it right back up there, but do I really want to offer Jake Bean a no movement clause? Not really. So, on the wing, Pospisil's an RFA. Lomberg's probably going to go anyway. Just because Stromgren's taken Lomberg's spot, basically. Although Stromgren, if he keeps getting better, yeah, he's a third liner. Lomberg might be worth keeping around. He's not really hitting as much as I'd like. That's a positive giveaway takeaway ratio in 10 games. How much is he looking for? It's not too bad. I feel like it's the type of player, though, that we can get later on to fill out the roster with. We don't have to prioritize it. Backlund as a third-line center and our captain. Still worth keeping. 1 year deal at 2.5 isn't that bad. If I were to give you the no movement clause and say we're not going to have you go unless you want to go, we can drop that down to about 1.5. And maybe 1.75. 1.7 outright. So we'll see if he takes that. And then Luke Misa will have to be signed to his ELC. So let's see. Let's see. No answers yet. Backlund is back. Rasmus Anderson's back. So Rasmus sticks around. We lose to Montreal. Again, can't help but think that Jake Bean's going to be on the outs here. Check one more time with how much he wants, but it's not looking too good. He still wants about $4 million. And again, he is not a big point producer. He'll probably hit 20 points on the year. Giveaway takeaway ratio is pretty ugly. Hits and the blocks are fine, but they're not outstanding. Yeah. Sorry, Jake. I don't think it's going to happen, buddy. I don't think it's going to happen. So we go to the deadline. If there is an upgrade on left D to get, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because we're clearly pushing for a playoff spot. Evan Bouchard has sat out this entire year. Freddie Anderson's out there on an expiring deal. Konechny, who just signed that extension. Drew Doughty obviously doesn't really fit what we're looking for. Kings are trying to move Adrian Kempe. Don't tell Crash. Patrick Kane, Adam Larson, Yanni Gord, Philip Deneau. Okay. I do wonder if the Oilers are willing to listen to a Bouchard trade. Not really. Freddie Anderson would be a second, a third, and Neuenschwander, or a second, a third, and Zarubin. Or a rental of Freddie Anderson to give us one hell of a combination. Shout out to Connor Zary, what a goat. Freddie's done well. Also back in Anaheim, Freddie Anderson. Second and a third this year. And then Zarubin is a fine goalie. Definitely get us a better backup. To be honest, I think we do this. I think we bring in Freddie. I think we do. If they're willing to retain salary, because I cannot afford to take on that much salary. Who was high enough to give Freddie 11.8? The Anaheim Ducks, baby. Who was crazy enough? We are talking about Orange County. All right. If you're willing to retain on Freddie, just a second in Zarubin. Yeah, a third round pick is going to be a bit much. Who are some of the scrub-a-dubs that we drafted that we're never going to sign? I think I already got rid of all of them. Let's go with a 5th round pick this year. Thank you very much, Anaheim. Welcome in Freddie Anderson for the rest of the year. Adrian Kempe? How the hell would I possibly play Adrian Kempe this year? Appleby, Wolf. And we're not trading Dustin Wolf, so he is still the guy. He just needed another option, a little bit of coverage. So getting rid of Jake Bean would hurt. What is he worth? Second and a third. Wong. Second and Marcel. Third and Pinelli. So we can weaken our defense for a second and a third round pick. Or we just keep him for the year. Given that we just gave up a second round pick to get Freddie Anderson, it might be worth reacquiring the draft picks here. It might be. Like, how much is Jake Bean actually adding to this team? The answer is not much. Or we could just go for Wong, who was just drafted by the Bruins in this past draft. Probably a right side defenseman in the future. He's looking pretty good, though. I mean, the second and the third could be anything. It could be Alex Wong. Was that Eklund? Different Eklund. I'm willing to do this. I think that's a nifty little deal right there. Trade Jake Bean for a future prospect. I don't hate that. Because again, Bean really hasn't added too much to our defense anyway. He's been fine. But there's no way I'm giving him $4 million a year. Bean to Beantown. There you go. Jake Beantown. Done deal with Boston. Squeeze him for a pick. I think it would have been a late one. The value bars looked pretty even. All right, so again, we got Wolf and Anderson in goal now for the rest of the year. Wong and Kleber as prospects. Poirier's getting a little bit better. There is the option to trade Sharon Govich, but I don't really want to weaken the forwards. Blake Coleman might be happy to go, if we're being honest, but I don't really want to weaken the team too much. Like, there are other trades. Like, Backlund elected to stay. Hagen's value is looking beautiful. I don't really think we have to necessarily weaken the team right now. Pelletier still signed. Pretty much the only thing now is, can we find another defenseman to bring in on a rental? Like, Drew Doughty's not a rental. Ovi's on the block. Hey, Dan Vladar's on the block. I would have brought him back, to be honest, if I had seen him there. This is not a great defensive market. Cam Fowler on an expiring deal? I mean, that's pretty much a 1-to-1 compared to, like, Jake Bean. I can bring in Cam Fowler. Oh, please don't tell me the Ducks just traded him. They didn't. Back to Fowler. Oh, he's clause protected. He doesn't want to come here. Winnipeg, what's up, man? That sucks. He doesn't want to come here. Nicoletti. Oh, God. Clause protected. Doesn't want to come here. We could bring in the Ducks captain, Radko Gudas. Or Ben Sherratt. Oh, shit. I mean, Radko for the physicality wouldn't be the worst. The Sharks just acquired Patrick Kane. What would the Ducks want for Radko? Backlund, Coleman, a second, or Poirier? Oh, Jesus. Jesus. A second rounder for Gudas? Yeah, the values are pretty even. Ooh, he's hurt right now, and it doesn't say for how long. It does not say for how long. I'd love the physicality that he could bring to the team, but it does not say how long he's hurt for. That would be a huge risk if he was out for the rest of the year. There's just no way. There's no way. I'm not going to bother with Ovi. Again, he doesn't really fit the team right now. We need a defenseman. Fowler won't come here. Letty won't come here. Gudas is hurt. Am I really going to have to rely on fucking Ben Sherratt to replace Jake Bean? A third and a Kotyuk, Ball and a fourth, Stromgren or New and Schwander. Okay, let's be real here. It's Ben Sherratt, Stevie. It's Ben Sherratt. Let's be real here. I need an NHL defenseman for the rest of the year, but let's be real here. You're not going to Florida Panthers this and get a fucking king's ransom for Ben Sherratt. Ooh, Zane Parekh up to a 79. He will be in the NHL next year. That's going to be nice. And Kleber was ours, which was fine. Poirier now 23 and only a 76. Now could be the right time to cash out on Jeremy Poirier. There's a chance he's just never going to make it. He doesn't look that bad, though. We need an NHL defenseman, and Sherratt's close enough, basically. We got the Grivas, Lucas Pettersson. Pelletier is still going to be pushing for an NHL spot next year. Ball. Karens will be pushing for an NHL spot. Suniev, Grushnikov. Kotyuk, Yanni Yermo. I mean, Yermo's not really worth much. Old Martin Popsicle. If we can do it with just draft picks, that would be nice. If it would work with just draft picks. Because again, we have Vegas as first this year, too. Anyone better for Sherratt? Not for a discounted rate, unfortunately. What if we use our own third rounder? We're still not particularly close. It might actually take a second rounder. Unless we give up, I mean, goalie-wise, we've already given up people. Just double-checking. Poirier would make a decent amount of sense. Etienne Morin might not make it, man. He's 20 years old and only a 67. If we were to use Morin in a third, what are we thinking, Stevie? There we go. All right. Ben Sherratt, welcome in. Welcome in. Again, trading for Bouchard is just too fucking expensive. Konechny doesn't really fit the team. Doughty doesn't fit the team. Like, we do have most of the rosters settled in. Like, maybe if we didn't bring in frickin' Marner and Besser. Dude, Mitch Marner's trade value is through the roof, by the way. Jesus. Do you have to do the season goals thing while in the preseason? Yes. Yeah, got to do it in the preseason. Yeah, brought in Freddie Anderson. Defense is... it's a little bit shaky, but we do have the top two. Added in freaking Ben Sherratt. Marner would have to waive his no movement for us to bring in Bouchard, and I wouldn't do it anyway. Again, we're going to keep Sharangovich. We're going to keep Coleman. I mean, there's some good roster depth right there. I think we're good. A lot of this is seeing how the veterans play, but also seeing how the younger guys continue to develop. So unless something drastic changes, like I'm not paying $11 million for Drew Doughty, I just don't see where the hell Kempe would fit in based on who's on the team right now. He wouldn't. Adam Pelech became available, but he's still got 3 years left after this. Check what the other teams have on the block. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. If they're on the trade block, they'll show up in the available tab. Yeah, I don't just want for Pelech. Sharangovich, Zary in a third. Coronado and Zary. No. First, second, and Backlund. Coronado. Okay, yeah, you're not being serious. You're not being serious, New York. They also have Pajot out there. Pajot on an expiring deal. Clause protected. He doesn't want to come here. Bjorkstrand. And we're not going to go after Ovi. I don't want to be the one to take him away from the Caps. Anders Lee is out there. He's clause protected. I don't even know who the hell Bjorkstrand would replace. He'd be competing like directly with Sharangovich. I think we're good. I think we've done some decent, tidy business here to keep us in a competitive spot without being like, let's win the cup immediately. Since when have the Islanders been serious? Fair thing to say. So Anderson Wolf. We can call Cooley back up so that he's not threatening to be the AHL starter. Defense, Uyghur, Anderson, Brusewicz, Sherratt, Ball, Kotyuk, Miramanov, which is good. A lot of natural right wingers on this team, as I'm noticing. All right. So, AHL lines, we'll just go best lines again. That should be fine. Shout out to the Grievas, who do keep getting better. Do we have anybody we could take out for Connaughton? I could have sworn that we did. We don't, actually.
I'm just trying to.
I'm going to go with Blinks. Let me know if I'm wrong. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Goalie-wise, lining in. Yeah, that's fine. Thoughts with Wall out with lower body tightness. That sounds so stupid. It sounds stupid, but... I mean, again, it's the NHL's tendency of like, let's not put a target on a player's back by saying what he's specifically dealing with injury wise. So just what the league does. Stromgren back in for Lomberg. You know, it's not a bad team. I mean, had we not signed Marner and Besser, then who knows? Like the third line, the bottom, the bottom four, the bottom six, especially when you're looking at the four winger spots, it'd probably be a bit weaker, but it's not bad. Especially now we got Freddie Anderson and Dustin Wolf to go with for the rest of the year. And we didn't even have to spend that much, which is also really nice. I mean, if we look at the other trades, Leafs get Marcus Johansson basically for a third and a different Johansson. Sharks ended up getting Adam Pelech, Riley Height, Hamilton, and Sharp. The Sharks also got Morgan Frost. Holy shit. San Jose in acquisition mode. Islanders got Charlie Stramel and Jake Evans for a prospect and picks. TVR to Nashville for Kalen Lind. Of course, we got Ben Schrott for Morin in a third. Vakanainen and Leeson off to Edmonton. Robert Bortuzzo out of Tampa in a deal involving picks. Eric Gustafson in a deal. Wow, David Edstrom changes teams again. Easy for me to say. Matthew Joseph and Ryan Suter to Ottawa for Victor Eklund and Jamon Moore. Patrick Kane to San Jose. Sonny Milano. Casper. Dude, the Sharks also got Brandon. Holy shit. The Sharks have gone all in this year. This is nuts. Whew. Scott Lawton, Jason Zucker to Vancouver. Jason Dickinson to the Islanders for Varlamov and a prospect. Seattle sold Yanni Gordon, Will Borgen to Columbus. Of course, we got Freddie Anderson, Adam Larson, and Jaden Schwartz to Toronto for picks and Ben Danford. Trevor Moore to the Hurricanes. Ryan Paling and picks to Buffalo for a second. The Sharks went all in season 2. And their lineup looks like this. Eklund, Celebrini, Kane, Zetterland, Smith, Toffoli, Wenberg, Couture, Saad, Bordeleau, Frost, Gushchin. Holy shit. Jesus. Defensively, Pelech, Wallman, Ferraro, Martinez, Mukhamadullin, and Dickinson. Goalies, Askarov, and Black. Jesus Christ, dude, the Sharks might win the cup this year. Dude, they have Braden McNabb as a scratch right now. Holy hell. They might actually win the cup. Keep an eye out. And by the way, Toronto's top line is now Nyes, Matthews, and Nylander. So, I mean, granted, Nyes isn't quite putting up points like Marner would have, but yeah, they're doing just fine. They're doing just fine. We'll have to keep an eye out on the Sharks, though, that's for sure.